Yes, we are live now. So hello everyone and welcome. This is our first webinar this year, and thank you all for joining and welcome. My name is Elena Grinyuk and I'm Regional Director for the Central Eastern Europe in SME Banking Club, and I will be your host today. Today we will talk about mobile banking for business customers, customers' expectations in that area and opportunities for the banks. And I'm very glad to be joined today by Agnieszka Piruk and Krzysztof Tobiasz, business and product managers at Aileron, one of the biggest IT companies in Poland. And I'm looking forward to today's discussion because Agnieszka has over 20 years in SME and corporate banking experience, and now also in corporate banking platforms from the IT side. And Krzysztof has more than 20 successful deployment projects of corporate banking platforms in many countries. So I'm sure we will have a very insightful conversation today. So hello and welcome.
Hello. It's really nice to be here together with you, Olena.
Pleasure by my side. So before we go to the topic, let me mention very shortly organizational moments. So our webinar is scheduled for 45 minutes. We are recording this webinar, so right after we finish, you will receive a link to the video. And in the end of the webinar, we will have time for your questions. So please type your questions into the chat. So let's go to the topic. Last year, we at SME Banking Club analyzed the functionality of online and mobile banking for SME customers here in the CE region based on the 90 parameters. And we saw some increase in the functions and products available for business customers in banking mobile applications compared to the 2019. But still, online banking remains the main remote channel for the business customers that banks are developing for that sector. And the main part of applications that we analyzed has a very basic set of functionalities, like the access to the account, access to account history, also transactions in local currency and foreign currency. While, for example, other functions and products like a deposit module or opening a business account or lending module, they are available in 5 or 6 applications in the whole region. And what is worth mentioning here is that the expectations of business customers are changing. First of all, they are and increasing, I would say. So first of all, they are expecting at least the same user experience as they have with the bank as an individual customer. And second, SME customers started to expect more from the banks in the sense of beyond banking services. So the ones that will help them automate and simplify their everyday business routine, kind of non-core operations like invoicing, accounting, BFM module, etc. And this is different compared to the corporate customers, which have like enough internal resources inside the company to cope with that. So this is a status quo, and this is what we see here at the very moment in the CE market. Agnieszka and Krzysztof, I'm passing over to you. So which trends and customer expectations do you see here? And we are all ears to hear your insights. You're welcome.
Thank you. I'll start to share the presentation right now. Just give me a second. Please confirm that can you see my screen?
Yes, we see.
Yeah. Okay, so thanks, Elena, for the insightful introduction. Let's start our presentation. How mobile banking looks in numbers. 91% of Generation X and 79% of baby boomers see the benefits of mobile banking channel. 95% of transactions executed in such platform like corporate banking platform or SME mobile banking relate to payments. Over 79% of SME daily financial tasks they would like to execute on their mobile devices. over 61% of SME clients are planning to change their banking relationship because of poor mobile applications. And finally, the mobile banking is the second crucial factor when the SME clients would like to change their banking relationship. We know that mobile banking is so important. We all are mobile right now, especially within this unprecedented time, social distance and global lockdown. We all are trying to do everything, to work and live as normal as we can. I'm sure you are using your smartphones on a daily basis. The same situation we can observe in the banking industry. We need to have access to our bank anytime, at any place, on holidays, in shops, at work. Companies treat mobile banking as a tool to do their business smarter. But we have to bear in mind that entrepreneurs and SMEs have completely different expectations to mobile banking compared to corporate customers. Basing on our experience and many discussions with banks and their business clients, we can say that entrepreneurs and SMEs require the same access to the same scope of features and functionalities in mobile banking like in the internet banking application. Why? Because they need to have their bank with them. They need the same functionality, as I said. Completely different situation is with corporate banking. They need more advanced and sophisticated tool. CFOs and chief accountants manage bigger scope of data. Thus, they need broader scope of information presented on the screens of smartphones about the banking products of the companies they manage. So, what the perfect mobile banking should be? It should be the whole bank in the small screen of smartphone. On smartwatches, we focus on notifications. On smartphone, we focus on proper organization of data and functionality. We give users access to before login area with major information. After login, in both with mobile token and biometric, as you can see, user is logged into the transactional dashboard, that is his to-do center. He has also access to reporting part with cash flow to allow him to smart prediction of the financial situation. He has also a possibility to add his own dashboard created with the features that are crucial for him in the current situation. So, what is the recipe to build the perfect mobile banking? From our perspective, we choose the 4 major factors that the perfect mobile banking has to address. Simplicity with dedicated scope of features and functionality with given in a proper way on a small screen of smartphone. Such applications has to be secure with several requirements like OWASP and mobile token embedded into the application. It should be available for banks quickly with short time to market to build the success together by the vendor and by the bank. And of course, it has to be functional rich because of broad requirements and rising requirements of business customers. To ensure simplicity, we have to focus on 2 things. Mobile banking is working and it is fully functional if we integrate it with several banking systems during the project. And it is no matter how many of them there is. We use during the project our acknowledge and share it with banks to give him the best and fastest project as we can do. The second thing, our business processes. Why? Because if we talk about business banking, we immediately think about complexity and broad scope. This is why mobile banking has to cover different business processes like authorization, access to loans, applying for loans, and many others in a proper way.
Security is the second factor of the successful implementation of the banking platform for business clients. Of course, the whole platform has to be secure, but in case of the mobile banking, from our experience, we identified two additional aspects that have to be addressed. First of them is physical security of the device, because people use their phones almost everywhere, so they can be simply lost or stolen. Moreover, from the psychology point of view, people still have to be convinced that mobile apps are secure enough to be used in financial application. So, how the security of the mobile banking should be ensured? First of all, the application has to be paired with the user's account. It means that particular copy of the application has to be unambiguously connected with particular user, and only this user is able to log in with this application to his bank. Moreover, during the device pairing, there is also configured the mobile token that can be further used to authorize payments and other types of disposition just from the mobile app. To properly address the physical security, we strongly advise you to not store any sensitive data on the mobile device. All data should be gathered and displayed on the user's demand, and just after, they should be deleted to avoid any sensitive data leak. To additionally increase the security of the mobile application, it has to control the device, its status. For example, install the newest version of the operating system, install security patches, if there are any suspicious application present on the phone, and so on. When this validation fails, the mobile app should prevent the user from logging to his bank, because we can't trust this device anymore. Security in the area of mobile banking is not limited to the application, but also has to cover integration interfaces that are used by the mobile banking. They have to be secured so that it shouldn't be possible to call them by any other application. And last but not least, the mobile app has to be compliant with independent security checks. For example, OWASP, Application Security Verification Standard. This is the guideline that is constantly verified and updated to address upcoming security threats. Next factor that has to be addressed is short time to market. When a new access channel is created, it should be available for the end user as soon as possible. Based on our discussion with banks in several countries, first version of the apps should be ready within 6 to 9 months after the project is launched. Such a time can be achieved, for example, by dividing the scope of the mobile app into the phases, and each of those phases has to cover complete business processes or improvements of the existing ones. The first phase, let's call it Quick Win, should support the most demanded features and contain the main business processes of the mobile channel for the end users. Its delivery on time reduces stress on both sides, you as a bank and us as a vendor. Why? Because some KPIs are yet fulfilled, and the application can be further developed and enriched with new functionalities. To follow this approach successfully, the vendor should understand the corporate business and needs of the bank's clients to properly reflect it both in the mobile application and the plan of its delivery.
And finally, functionality. Mobile banking has to be functional rich. As we heard from Olena a few minutes ago, And based on our experience, we can say that current mobile applications for SMEs, of course with some exclusions on the market, have limited scope of features, but clients need more. They need access to FX transactions, to credit, to deposits, to card, but not only to review them. They need to manage them actively. They need to execute FX transactions, negotiate exchange rates for foreign payments, apply for new credits, or even pay for installments. For cards, for example, change the PIN of the card. We also have to bear in mind that we have different country-specific requirements through different countries that also have to be addressed during the implementation of mobile banking. So, how to put all of these options in an organized way? We divided the functional scope into 4 business areas: cash flow, financial overview, approval, and payments initiation. Let's focus on details for a while. With cash flow, mobile banking has to ensure information about the current and future financial position of the company. It has to be enriched with smart predictions to build the overview within 3 to 5, 6 months ahead. To enrich the overview, because the cash flow isn't enough, we can add information about the other banking products such as deposits, credits, cards, and on some markets, checks. Mobile banking is used on the go, so it has to give access for clients not only to authorization of payments and packages. The mobile banking has to give access to authorization several different orders, like trade finance applications, credit applications, card, and so on. We cannot forget, of course, about some clients, especially SMEs, that require access to payment initiation. So this option should be also available. What about smartphones? Few slides earlier, I said that here we are focused on notifications. But which one? Relating, for example, to authorization, it gives information about how many transactions are waiting. We give also information about the financial overview and the current balance presented in a non-sensitive way to allow clients be up to date with information about processed money on their luck. It is given, as I said, in a non-sensitive way because authorization isn't required on arrival.
Okay. Can you stop sharing the screen? Because
yes, of course.
Okay.
I stopped.
Can you see my screen right now? Please confirm.
Yes.
Okay. So today we described the key factors that characterizes the best mobile banking for business clients. The rich functionality, the simplicity of the processes, highest security, and short time to market. All of those aspects were taken into consideration by Aileron when we created our mobile apps for the bank's business clients. Having this application on board, we can offer your clients business efficiency by providing them possibility to access the company financial data and manage their payments whenever they currently are. Let us show you a short customer journey, which is quite complicated in terms of integration and allows to send international payment with negotiation of the exchange rate. So when the user is logged into the mobile banking, he can initiate payment, for example, from the account details. He chooses the beneficiary, he selects the amount, and may negotiate the rate. As you can see, there are 2 tickets, but they are not sufficient to cover all the payment amount. Once the user applies for the new ticket, and accepted, newly negotiated ticket appears on the list and can be chosen to cover the payment. As you can see, there are 3 tickets that covers the whole payment amount. After the user completes all the data, he can authorize the payment with the mobile token, either by entering the PIN or using the biometry, and payment is sent for execution. The successful mobile application has to reflect the end user's needs and give them access to the information they currently need. The Iron mobile app has been designed by interdisciplinary team of product managers, UX designers, and of course, mobile architects. The product managers define the business processes that should be covered by the mobile application and prioritize them according to their business value. They have common language with client and can translate their expectation business goals into the project requirements. UX designers takes care about simplicity of the project, for example, by dividing the process step into phases, or ensuring the optimal content of the screen. IT architects takes care about the feasibility, about the cost control, and to meet the guidelines of Apple and Google. Last but not least, we are verifying our application with end users, and their needs and additional requirements can be deployed in the next version of the mobile application. The mobile app by Aileron is a subject of continuous improvement according to the roadmap. We are analyzing the market trends, both the IT and technical ones, and the business ones. We are tracking the regulatory requirements that appears in various countries and analyze whether they should be implemented into the mobile application or should be rather addressed outside of the application, somewhere in the bank's ecosystem. Valuable insight is discussion with our clients, the current ones and potential ones, and clues from offering processes. All of those insights causes in creation new features, new modules, some improvements of user experience. On the other hand, we are verifying the technology standards and identify and wisely manage of technology debt. How you as a bank can choose how you as a bank can install your mobile application. There are several ways. First of all, is a part of the whole corporate business banking platform made by Aileron. But if you have your current banking platform, it can be enriched by the mobile application by integrating or installing the mobile application next to your platform. If we deep dive into those two scenarios, in the dark blue you can see the high-level architecture of typical solution of the bank, with front-end application, with the back-end processes, and with connector which integrates the platform with the bank systems. To enrich it with mobile application, we have to install our mobile apps and the API gateway, which exposes interfaces to the front-end application and takes care about the integration of your existing banking platform with the mobile application. From the perspective of the end user, such an approach gives an omni-channel platform that is provided by different vendors. If such integration is impossible from any reason, your current platform can be still enriched with the mobile banking by installation additional business logic and integration with the platform with your bank system. The clients still have possibility to manage their finances from the mobile application. As a recap of our presentation, let's give you a few takeaways how to implement the best internet banking, the best mobile banking for business clients. First of all, we have to keep in mind that business clients are different, and SME and entrepreneurs use the banking in other way than the corporations do. Moreover, there are various volumes of data that has to be addressed and handled by the application. It makes the application more complex than the application for the retail customer. However, when we have on board the UX lab involved in design process, it can be even the most complex processes can be designed in simple and efficient way. We have done it with this interdisciplinary team, and some processes were shown today. Each mobile app has to be secure, and especially the one that operates on your financial data. That's why it should be verified against independent checklists. OWASP Level 3 is the most proper one and has been used by Aileron. When the mobile app is compliant with it, it's up to date with the newest findings in the area of security, and your end users can feel really safe. Time is money, so even the best app has to be ready to use within 6 to 9 months. Aileron did it last year when we implemented the mobile app for one of the Polish bank, and the first version was available to the clients in less than 6 months. And the most important factor is the great team of motivated people and specialists, as we are, with passion, as focused on the implementation of the best mobile bank. This is the real key to success. Thank you very much for your attention. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask them into the chat window. We'll be more than happy if we could answer it during the Q&A session that will be driven by Olena.
Thank you very much, Agnieszka and Krzysztof, for your presentation. Yes, we have one question at the moment, and I'm encouraging everybody, please type your questions into the chat. Well, I will ask mine first. So you mentioned about your team of specialists which will be working for the implementation of mobile banking, for example, when you cooperate with the banks. So which team from the bank side is needed, is required to implement, as you said, within 6-9 months the application? Which resources are required from the bank side? Because I think this is one of the main challenges now, when implementing some new services or solutions for customers.
Okay, I will answer it. In order to successfully install the mobile banking by Aileron, we of course need the bank business and technical team, but we do it. We need it in unique way, because during the offering process we have 2 phases. First is business assessment, where we present our solution, its business processes, and compare it with bank's requirements. Its main goal is to early identify any customization, and it usually lasts 1 or 2 weeks. Technical business assessment is another step, and within this phase we identify whether the bank can provide us all the data that are required to successfully launch our mobile application. It lasts not longer than 1 week. After this phase, we are ready to proper plan the delivery of the mobile app, and we know the characteristics of the bank. We can analyze only discrepancies in customization, and it significantly reduces bank's staff that is needed to support us while creating the mobile banking that is adjusted to the bank's particular needs.
From your experience, how many people, how big team is required to implement it, maybe after that to support the mobile application in the bank? So how many people are engaged? Like 10, 20?
Less than 10. Less than 10.
Less than 10. Wow. Okay, I will start reading the questions that we have in the chat. So first question from Gardana. Please let me know to whom exactly inside SME companies mobile banking is intended, to C management or accounting, or to anyone. Who can take this question?
Maybe I will take this one. It depends. Because if we are talking about SME clients, we cannot forget that they are special clients in banks. Because in many situations, we have one person who is CFO, president of board of management, accountant, delivery person, and so on. So all options are available to one person within that channel. But if we are talking about a little bit bigger company where the duties are fragmented into several persons, we can say that mobile banking is rather dedicated to managers who are authorizing the transactions and usually are on the go and don't have enough time to stay at their offices to conduct the business activities.
Yeah, right. So the next question comes from Isabella, actually two. So the first one is how you suggest to make smart predictions based on what information? So this model of a cash flow that you showed, this is based on the transactions from the customer's account, or also kind of e-invoicing integrated there. This is just my suggestions.
It has to be covered by several things. The basic cash flow is, of course, basing on the accounts movements, and but it is not the whole thing. The second aspect is, as you mentioned, the information about the invoices that arrive and have to be paid. The third one are other banking products, because paying of installments, credits, drawing of installments, paying for cards limits, deposits there are many different products that have impact on the cash flow. So we are planning to build that broad functional cash flow, give the full spectrum of information within one place.
And the second question from Isabella is about to-do list. Do you suggest this is customized by the user, or the bank already give it to the user, or both?
Definitely both, because in this area we can say about notifications that are defined by users themselves about the events that are crucial for them. And based on our experience, we have chosen a part of, let's say, notifications that are needed independently of the user's needs. Let's say they are given by the application automatically about the events that arises from the banking system, for example.
Okay. Yes, and I will just comment. Isabella says invoices only if you have accounting integration with the bank. Yes, like online accounting and e-invoicing module, if it is integrated with with online and mobile banking. Yes, then we have what mobile platform are supported? Question from Mariusz.
Yeah, our application supports iOS and Android platforms. We have to keep in mind that the progress of new versions of the system of the operating system in mobile phones are quite fast. So we support 3-4 versions of those operating system backwards.
And here is another question from Mariusz. Does your solution design or any cloud or is on premises infrastructure? If supports clouds, what type and what is the scalability of the solution?
Well, the application itself is installed on the phones, However, regarding the integration interfaces, we are compliant with cloud. However, it strongly depends on the type of installation that has been performed by the bank for the whole platform. Because it's if the current platform that covers internet channel is installed on premise, it would be hard to install it somewhere else. It could be hard to install the mobile application interfaces somewhere else than on premises. But yes, our solution is compliant with cloud as well. We stick on the container based installation, so we can easily adapt and install it on the cloud.
Okay. Next question is the following from Zia. Thank you for the presentation. I would like to ask, how do you define DAO and MAO when getting analytics of your application usage? And we have also a second question. What kind of new features of mobile applications can be added to SME mobile app?
I think definitely the biometrics is the feature that we are adding into our applications to speed up the process because it is more secure and right now can be used by banks.
Yes, and actually we have the following question from Rui regarding what would you consider the more secure authorization mechanism to authorize the transactions, SMS, tokens, so your option is biometrics, right?
In our opinion, the most important, the most secure way is embedded mobile token, because it takes advantage of the cryptography. It is personalized for the particular user, and only this user can authorize with particular token. Additional elements, for example, SMSs, can be a subject of steal. So are not secure to be an authorizing method. In terms of biometrics, it is the trend. However, we have to keep in mind that it's really tricky functionality, because I read recently report where it was quite insecure behavior of users while allowing to taking picture like this, because if you allow to take picture like this, your fingerprints can be stolen and used as a biometric.
Oh, really?
Really. So biometric is really becomes really tricky.
Oh wow, because I personally consider that biometrics actually was a good solution, because with this, security, let us not forget about user experience, and this was seemed to be a good mix, that all the security and user experience. But what you were saying, this is new for me. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Technology becomes scaring.
Okay. What is the solution? We have the next question from Gabor. What is the solution for the new Huawei products? A big segment in EU without Android support.
We know that is a gap, and we last week even we discussed with our specialists from the IT team from in our company, and they are under reviewing, let's say, possibility to address such because we have to consider that we are implementing the applications to banks, and we have to know how many let's say managers, CFOs will use Huawei smartphones.
Yeah,
that will depend on definitely on numbers about the usage. For retail, I think that is a huge problem. In corporations, I think right now, yeah, less, but we have to be focused on that and definitely keep on track.
By the way, are there any minimum number of business customers, let's say, that is, or that you recommend or makes it, you know, payable or rational for the bank to implement mobile banking? Do you have such figures in mind? So which number? And speaking about this Huawei users, so really how many should be, I don't know, like several thousand users, then it is worth of implementing a separate application, for example, or what are the, you know, what are the numbers more or less in what range?
It's hard to say. Would you like to answer, Chris?
Yeah. I may say that corporate, that business clients are very different, and it's a matter of it would be the matter of let's say calculations whether it's for the bank is really the more profitable would be to cover this Huawei gap, or rather propose their customers with devices that works on iOS or Android operating systems. So because well, if it's if the situation would concern, for example, 50 users, but from a big company, it wouldn't make any sense to pay an addition to pay it for creating an additional version of the application to support it and so on. It's the cheaper version the cheaper would be to propose this company as in a package, even the high-end phones, for example, by other vendor working on iOS or Android operating system.
We have actually the next question, which is very in line in this one that we are discussing from Javad, that a question about measuring the success of the application. Which criteria are evaluated for the success of applications? So like a set of usage or monetary metrics. I think banks are thinking on everything, because this is of course number of users, but also the possibilities that it gives, that it's easy to use for the customer. And for example, a lot of even cross-sell possibilities of the product, just because this is very easy to use for the customer. If, for example, they have this, I can say it even from being an SME customer, for example, here in Poland, that if you have this cash management projection, then you can react immediately. For example, if you see that next week you have a financial gap, for example, and you have to pay some invoices, and you see your prediction and that you will not have money, for example, for this, then you can quickly apply, for example, for loan or for factoring or for overdraft, and you can really do it, I don't know, in several clicks in the applications, and this is easy. I think that depends, of course, on the bank's strategy. But again, this is the number of users and also the products and the possibilities for the customer to use this product in a very, you know, fast, quick and easy way. This gives like extra revenues then.
Yes, but we have to bear in mind one important thing. As I said at the beginning of the presentation, over 61% of companies can change their banking relationships because of poor mobile banking applications. So if we have on board, let's say, more user-friendly, more flexible, more simple, and being adjusted to exact need mobile application, we can hit the market in the number of customers that is aligned with the productivity, with, as you said, cross-selling of banking products and so on. Because the channel by himself, it is the way of access to bank.
Yeah.
Just simply. But if we put behind that channel many different features like several banking products and so on, I think the bank who will choose such application can win, definitely.
Yes, yes. So customer retention is also now in the game.
Exactly.
Yes. What is, how do you define active users of application? I think also depends on the bank, but it can even be one transaction per month. I think, do you have some?
Yes, it can be, of course.
It can be. We can also track, for example, whether the particular user has activated application.
Like entered, at least logged in. No.
Exactly.
I have here also a good question from Isabel, and this was also what I was thinking about. So we have here, like in the region, we see two examples or two strategies, let's say, how banks are implementing their mobile applications. So the one is that banks are creating applications for individuals plus private entrepreneurs, so one-person entrepreneurs, meaning that they have very like similar behavior and similar needs, and they can switch to the business and private accounts within one application within one login, with no extra login. And then they have, for example, for companies meaning SMEs and corporates, separate applications, taking in mind that this will be another needs. Maybe several authorized people will have access to the application, etc. And then this is not then in this application you cannot switch between private, for example, accounts, individual accounts and business accounts. And the second strategy is that this is like a separate application for SME customer is implemented, and this covers both entrepreneurs and companies. And Isabella asks the same. So when there are different layouts, for example, SME and startups and corporates, what are your recommendation? What is the better way to implement? So if somebody considers on implementation of a mobile application for business customers, what is the better way to implement this, in which actually layout? Yes, what are your recommendations here?
Okay, I will answer the question because it is very tough, and we have to bear in mind several things. First of all, corporate companies are completely different to retail users. But if we are talking about SMEs, we have here a mix of situations, of ways to operate, and so on. And usually, if we are start talking with banks about the application, mobile, internet, and map, it doesn't matter which one, we say that they have to consider how many persons they need to authorize transactions. Because if we have one person who is the manager, CFO, project delivery person within SME, it is one person canoe, and we have a corporation with or a company with two or more persons that are required to authorize transactions, we are start talking about the broader spectrum of functionalities. So we can say that the first, let's say, exemplary company, it means entrepreneur, is rather retail customer. But the second one are closer to huge corporations, huge companies. But as I remember from my experience when I worked at bank, even some entrepreneurs, if they use sophisticated products like bank guarantees, letter of credits, are treated by banks as a corporations because they need dedicated scope of features that shouldn't be implemented into retail application. Definitely.
Okay, so I think the questions are over. So if there is no new questions, so then we will finish our webinar. Thank you very much for your engagement and the attendees to your questions. Thank you, Agnieszka and Krzysztof, for your contribution today. As I mentioned, so we will send you the presentation and the video a bit later today after we finish. So thank you very much, and we are staying in contact. So if some questions remain from the side, so please don't hesitate to contact me and Agnieszka and Krzysztof. We will write all the contact details. So you're welcome to stay in touch. So thank you very much, and goodbye, and see you next time online this year. Goodbye.
Thank you very much. Have a nice evening. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.